Right, and that's all good now, isn't it? Because I had my mic muted. That was perfect, so I've just gone through the whole intro. But welcome to Monza here, round 14 for Silver Season 6. And we've got ourselves a quick one on the cards. Like I was saying whilst I was muted, we have got it's the fastest track on the calendar in terms of race time. It's the fastest of the actual races itself in terms of getting the checkered flag underway. That will be at the end of 27 laps there after the qualifying session has finished as well. But yeah, like I said, 37 minutes last night in gold. Tango, as I was saying as well, has looking to have a rerun of form there after a difficult race yesterday. But yeah, he did a good job there. Of course, gold was one hell of an epic Grand Prix yesterday in gold, because it was no safety cars, no VSCs. It was literally a shootout to the finish line. 27 laps there of some pure hard racing around this fast circuit as well. And now we have got Silver's turn to put on a show here in Monza as well. And Monza is usually one of those epic races that we usually see quite a lot of action in league racing. It's quite an overtaking friendly track, isn't it, as well? So here comes the Haas of Ginna there around the first of the two Lesmos. Unfortunately, invalidating there on his first attempt there. Will go onto the tyre compound. He's on the medium compound tyre, so maybe just setting his sights anyway on this run. We'll go and find somebody else who's just on a lap, as Kiki, of course, jumping into the Ferrari tonight as well. Here comes Dopey Lemons that will switch over to, I think, Golden Wolf there is the next driver. Of course, we've got some debutants here. Not too many debutants, actually. We've got one debutant in the form of E. Moller, who is in P5 there, currently out on an out lap as well in the Ferrari car. And he is going to be debuting in the Ferrari at the Tifosi's home Grand Prix as well. So that will be interesting to see how he can fare here in his first test, really, in Silver. And, of course, his first outing here in his debut race as well. There, Golden Wolf, there's a 20.9 there to set the first precedent in the qualifying session so far. Gordo, they're just going around the Curva Grande. Let's have a look and see who's going to be next across the line as Dopey Lemons goes faster still. Here comes V. Todd through Ascari as well, making sure that Alpine is pointed very nicely there through the chicane. Yellow flags ahead, but I think that's just the Ferraris. They're sorting themselves out, getting out of each other's way. Here comes V-Todd down towards Parabolica. Kamara Racer goes up to P2 with a 19.9 as well. So into the 19s there, the top two. And I think Golden Wolf has got some work to cut out there to try and get himself in that realm as well. But here comes V-Todd now. Oh, he's just starting a lap there, it looks like, because he's decided to, he's just crossed the line, done a 23.0 on the dot there. But nonetheless, we'll have to come back to V-Todd and see what he's up to later on. Here comes Gordo there in the Red Bull, through the Ascari chicane as well. I think there might be an Alpine ahead of us. I think it's not V-Todd, is it, though? It's might be a Williams of Sweet NJP. Let's have a look and see what the Sweet NJP is going to be doing. And up to the line, it's P3 there with 20.6 for the Williams driver. Both Williams there currently on the second row of the grid as it stands. Here comes Gordo there. Can he split the two of them? He can't, but he's gone ahead of both of them into P3. Good stuff from Gordo there. He's had a good resurgence in form, I should say, since the first few rounds there. Whilst struggled at the beginning of the season, but really come into his own in the last few races as well. Good stuff from Gordo there as Mr. Elite there. Both the Red Bulls now have displaced the Williams there onto the second row, that is, and into the 19s as well there for Mr. Elite. Good stuff from him. currently the lead Red Bull driver on track, but Mumford has gone in between the two of them, split the two Red Bulls, and into the 20.07. He's almost in the 19s, but he's not quite done it by 700,000th of a second there. But Mumford there into P4 there, splitting the Red Bull drivers. But Moller there on his debut there in the Ferrari there into P2 onto the front row of the grid. He's still got about 1.5 tenths or so to find to get the pole position, but that is looking great indeed there for the debutant here as well, and a candidate potentially for a fantastic debut there in the Ferrari, around with his home fans here supporting him. He just needs to make sure he stays on the track there, because he looks like he's almost driving off into the distance there. But fantastic stuff indeed. Great lap indeed there on his first outing in qualifying in the Ferrari there, full time that is, in silver as well. So good stuff from him. Dan just warming up the tyres there. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be next across the line. I think V Todd has improved there. He's done did a 23.0, didn't he, on the last lap. He's now improved to a 20.6 there, only 1,000th of a second behind Sweet MJP there in P7. He's done a bit of a good job there as well. V Todd, he's turned his season around a little bit more in the last few races also, which is looking good indeed for the Alpine outfit. Of course, Farf is the other Alpine driver, and we don't want to say anything good about Farf, so there we go. But nonetheless, that is that. Irvine there is on track going through the first chicane. He's lost the car, has he? Oh, he's just about kept it under control, but he's lost a lot of time doing so as well. Getting the power down a bit too early there, losing the back end there of the car, and he's managed to keep it just outside, just in control, I should say, on the grey stuff, not the green stuff. But he's had to back out of his lap time there. He's had to abandon that lap there. Here comes TK there reserving tonight in the Haas. Tango said, I was bad, let's not sugarcoat it. I think you will, you didn't do too badly in my opinion. To be fair, the likes of Gold, well, not including myself, were pretty quick last night as well. So, yeah, it was pretty difficult to try and hold on. Yellow flags there in Sector 1, but I think it's just people getting out of the way. Here comes TK up to the line. What can he do? Can he get in the 19s? He can. He's a 19.964. Puts himself P5 for the time being there in the Haas. Good stuff indeed. I believe he's racing in place of Pot Stuff tonight. Pot Stuff there is busy working away. So, yeah, unfortunately, he can't get himself into the car, but hopefully he will be back soon. V Todd is back, and he's not back out on a lap. He's unfortunately invalidated. Here comes Irvine. They're just starting off his lap as well. We'll come back to Irvine. Ginner is also on track as well, coming through the first of the two Lesmos. And Dan is further ahead. We'll go back to Dan. We'll come back to the rest of them as Dan is coming down towards Parabolica, although they've renamed it, but I can't for the life of me remember what they renamed it to, because it's just Parabolica in my eyes. But there we go then, round the final corner, I should call it, and to the line. Let's see what the AlphaTauri can do. His first lap time of the qualifying session, and up to the line it is a 20.040 there. Puts himself P7, just ahead of Mumford now as well, into the highest runner, I should say, in the 20s as well. Good stuff from Dan in the AlphaTauri there. Puts himself into the midpoints as it stands, and that is not looking too uncomfortable just yet. Here comes Ginner though. Ginner up into P4 there, onto the front row with a 19.816. The same time there as Moller, as I missed Tango completely, up into the 19.7s there. Fantastic stuff from Tango. He wasn't looking too comfortable last night, like he was saying in the comment section, but he's managed to pull out a fantastic lap, and so has Irvine though, with a 19.5 these times, tumbling in now. That was incredible from Irvine. We completely missed it as well, but I have caught the back end of that McLaren there, just crossing down the main straight there with a fantastic qualifying lap indeed. Well done to Irvine there, currently on pole position here for the Italian Grand Prix. Tango coming back to the pit lane. He's unfortunately invalidated. So has Ginner. Kamara Racers coming through. Hopefully Ginner does get out of the way of that Red Bull, just in case. But Kiki there up into P3 as well in the other Ferrari. The Ferrari's looking strong here in their home Grand Prix, and a 19.686 for the Ferrari driver. Of course, reserving tonight, I think, in place of Ultimate Beast. the other Ferrari driver who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight there. B Rabbit though has said that I'll take some of that as well, and he's got himself on pole position as it stands there. P1 for the Mercedes, Dylan there into P3, and both the Alfa Romeos now looking strong for the second row of the grid as it stands there, but not far off the pole position as well, so it could still come back to them. And B Rabbit, they're currently on pole position. I can't see how much time is left in this qualifying session. We've still got 7 minutes to go, to be honest, so there's still going to be plenty of action to unfold, but it's getting so close at the top that I think they're going to have to either just bring it down to thousandths of a second, or they're going to have to just relax a bit and give me time to cool off. But Camaro Racer still has gone faster as well, a 19.4, and that puts him on pole position as well. Now he's displaced B Rabbit there into pole position there for the Aston Martin driver, and these times are tumbling down now as well. They're getting faster and faster as the qualifying goes on. I think the track might be rubbering in a bit better for the drivers who are now getting themselves out onto the track as well. Dan is coming through in towards the first of the Lesmos as Curva Grande there for Sweet MGP, their reflection as well going through, but unfortunately has invalidated, so we'll come back to him as we've got somebody in the wall. It's Dan in the wall there at the where is that? And I don't know, you can't park there, sir. Yeah, and he's just got in the way there of somebody coming through there on the exit of the first Lesmos. 5-place grid penalty for Dan with collision with Dopey Lemons there. We saw, I can't really get a good angle of this, but you saw from the from that parking spot there of the AlphaTauri that you shouldn't really be parking there, sir, as I did say so earlier, but unfortunately that has cost him, I think, 5 places. Dopey Lemons was on I think he was on a flying lap as well. I don't know if he's got any damage there in that Alfa Romeo, but he's had to abandon the lap, I think. And he's coming back to the either coming back to the pits or hoping to restart another lap there in the next few seconds or so. Kiki has said I did 19.4 my first lap, but invalidated on the back straight in the Ferrari there. He's done 19.6 currently. Dopey Lemons, I think, has been able to carry on or restart his lap as Tango is entering the pit lane now as well. Sweet MJP there starting another lap as well. Just finished his second lap, I think. But here comes Dopey Lemons. We'll keep an eye on Dopey Lemons. Hopefully there's no antics there into the rest of the field, but I think, as we saw there from Dan, he was just parked in a precarious position there. He has spun the car at the exit of the first Lesmo and was stuck in between the two Lesmos, that is. And Dopey Lemons there came round the corner, was going wide because naturally you will go wide around the first Lesmo on the exit to try and maximise your pace around that corner. As we can ride on board here, this is where the incident happened. As we ride on board, going wide there just to go over the curve there on the left-hand side, but he unfortunately became unstuck by a stranded AlphaTauri, I think, there, which was a bit of a shame. But nonetheless, Dopey Lemons is carrying on, and down towards Sector 2 we go. He's a 10th up on his time. That will put him in the realms of the front row, potentially. It's going to be close indeed. It could be a front row. It could be a pole position here for Dopey Lemons. There would be his first pole position of the season, if he can clinch it, that is. And he goes down towards the final corner of Parabolic and now into the heavy braking zone there, making sure you get the car turned in and then getting on the power as early as possible there to get yourself some speed as he comes back to the pit lane. Never mind him. So completely caught me out. Well done. That's fair play. Mr. Elite, in the meantime, has got up to P4 with a 19.577. Fantastic stuff from Mr. Elite. He's done a great job there. Completely missed it as usual as he cuts over the first chicane, or second chicane really, into Sector 2 now. But yeah, like I said, Mr. Elite looking good indeed. Jenner is on a lap as well, I think, coming round Parabolica as well to finish off his second attempt. And let's see what the Haas driver can do, as again he goes into the pit lane there to really just cause me so many problems. Vitor, I think, is just cruising around now on another outlap. Golden Wolf there is on a flying lap though. Let's have a look and see what Golden Wolf can do. Oh, he's lagging a bit there. Hopefully that is my connection and not his. But into Sector 1 he's gone purple. I think that might be purple to P17. Currently he's done a 20.9 there. That puts him about a second off the top 10 as it stands at the moment, but of course he can improve here as he goes round the second Lesmo. Thankfully keeping it within track limits there. Look close indeed as we go down the hill towards the Ascari chicane. once again there for the Williams driver, and let's see what he can do. He's 7/10 up on his time. That is fantastic improvement on the Williams for the Williams car. And let's see, can he keep up that momentum there through Ascari? He can, and down towards Parabolica there for the final corner of this lap. And let's see what he can do. It's going to be close, I think, indeed, to getting himself into the top 10 as well. Imola is back out on track there after setting his first time on the board there. Did get him into P2 as it stood, but of course some drivers have improved since then. Golden Wolf there, unfortunately, he lost quite a lot of time going through Ascari, it looks like, because he only improved by 4/10 of a second there. He was up 7/10 as we entered the second sector, so I think that is Golden Wolf there. He had lost a lot of time there through Ascari and then into the Parabolica as well, so hopefully he can gain that time again if he can get himself round the circuit and back into the pit lane and back out in time for another flying lap there. V Todd has unfortunately invalidated his run on this occasion, so that will be him done and dusted in qualifying, unless he can get himself back around or back to the pits in time. But I think they've only got 2 minutes left now in the session. Oh, what's going on there? Reflection trying to get past somebody there, and I think Reflection on a flying lap has got himself through. We'll come back to him as Farf is now exiting the pit lane, so is Kaz as well. They've got time to get themselves back around, but there's a lot of traffic now on track. This is going to get enticing, interesting, and could be very dangerous as well, to be honest, as we get ourselves underway for the final runs here in qualifying for season 6, Silver season 6, round 14 in Monza. But Irvine, I think, is the first driver on track there to try and get himself a time on the board, and I think he might catch up to some people on outlaps here as well, which could be a bit treacherous for him indeed if they don't get themselves out of the way. But I won't comment on people getting themselves out of the way in qualifying, because we haven't seen any of that before. No, don't go and watch gold qualifying then. But there we go. 1.5 tenths up as he's unfortunately invalidated Irvine. He's abandoned his lap time. He's got out of the way now as well. But a big shame there for the McLaren driver. He's not going to be starting any higher than P3, I don't think, in this Grand Prix, which of course is coming up in about 2 minutes time now. It'll be 1 minute or so after the qualifying's finished. There is Irvine just getting out of the way there of Dylan. Of course, Dylan on a championship charge there, looking to get himself up the order as well. Can he improve there as we go into Sector 2 there? He is almost 0.2 of a second up on his time. That could put him in the realms of a pole position here. This is looking good indeed for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see what he can do. Yellow flags are waving. There's a lot of traffic there going down towards Parabolica, just getting out of the way. There's an Alpine, I think, and there's a Ferrari and an Alfa Romeo ahead of us as well, as they just finish off their outlaps there. They're not going to be in the way, though, of the charging Dylan here as he comes up to the line. Kamara Racer is retired in the pit lane, and Dylan takes pole position as it stands of 19.391. The first driver there to get himself into the 19.3s, and Irvine unfortunately retiring in the pit lane after that mishap there on his lap. But Dylan is currently on pole position as it stands. That is looking strong indeed. Mr. Elite is the only driver to start a outlap next. We'll have to find out who's going to be furthest along the track. As we got no, it's not Ginner there. Ginner, I think, has abandoned his time as well, which is bad news indeed for him. Gordo, I think, is flying round the final corner as Mumford has gone up to P4, ahead of his teammate as well of Irvine. And here comes Gordo there up to the line. It's P8 there for Gordo. Good stuff indeed. We'll come back to that one, as I think we've just got a Haas there and an Alpha Tauri getting themselves back to the pit lane. No, Kaz has finished there. 20.5 there for Kaz there into P18. And now we've got a Mercedes of B Rabbit there coming around Parabolica. He's improving, but I don't think he's improving enough to take pole position away from Dylan there, his championship rival. Yes, he is actually, because he's done himself a 19.302, which is almost a tenth faster. But Tango goes even faster as well there into P1 for the Aston Martin there. He was saying he was downplaying all of his pace, wasn't he there? We knew he had some pace in the cards. Dopey Lemons there into P3. He takes the P3 position away from Dylan, his championship rival. TK retires in the pit lane. We've only got a few drivers left across the line. Dylan crosses the line there, but he doesn't improve, and that is qualifying, I think, done and dusted, isn't it? As Dan is the only driver that's across the line. Here he comes up to the line. It's P12, but of course he's got that 5-place grid penalty coming his way. Here comes Ebola. He's unfortunately invalidated. He's going to be starting P13 or P12 actually, because of Dan's penalty. But yeah, unfortunately for Ebola there on his debut there, we did see him get off the older, but he couldn't quite finish it off there in this qualifying session at the later stages. Here comes the pole sitter though. of Tango there. He's got himself a pole position there after downplaying his pace, like I was saying. But he's done a great job there of completely befuddling me and, of course, all of the viewing audience as well. But fantastic qualifying indeed. That was action-packed indeed. Come on, B-Rabbit there, says Serious Mushroom. Anyone's pole, says as Pot Stuff there, is Tango there. And I think, to be fair, he was right. It could have been anyone's pole position. And just look at that there. Under 0.2 of a second there, the top 5 as Kamara Racer got himself up into P5 as well. Both the Aston Martins looking good. So are the Alfa Romeos indeed as well. Kiki there in P6 there. Sweeter P7. Mumford in P8 there. Most of the McLarens there, unfortunately, getting knocked down the order there after not finishing off their laps there at the right time. Mr. Elite there in P10 and Gordo in P11, just outside the top 10. Dan in P12, but of course he's got that 5-place grid penalty there for the collision there. He wasn't at fault, to be honest. Well, he was at fault, but he wasn't in any position to get himself out of the way as quickly as possible there, unfortunately. Emola there in P13, Jenna P14, TK in P15, Reflection in P16, V Todd P17, Kaz in P18, Golden Wolf in P19, and Farf there didn't get a timing in the end of the session. Blimey, well, if the race is anything like the qualifying, it is going to be, well, I'm not going to have any breath left, to be fair, but it is one hell of an epic race indeed coming up for you guys. Nice and sunny, it looks like, as well here in Monza, so it's going to be a quick one as well indeed. But definitely won't finish there, says Tango, as he's already downplaying his pace in the race. But let's see what it's going to be like there as we get ourselves underway there for the 27 laps here in Monza. So Gordo has said, scared of turn 1 in the middle of the pack there. Hopefully everyone just takes it easy there. You can you'll be able to lose or gain places into turn 1, but of course you don't want to lose the race completely without a wheel or a front wing, and that can be more costly than just taking it easy. So yeah, just cruise into turn 1, enjoy yourself nice and slow, and then worry about the race after that. But that's the problem with these chicanes around here. It is a very fast-paced circuit, this one, and of course the brakes and the braking zones are very difficult to try and get right sometimes, especially if you're following cars around, as Favre found out yesterday. But there we go. I think we have got the formation lap on as we get ourselves ready to get going here in Monza. Oh, what's going on here? Are we going to get going? Yes, we are. Good stuff. Right then, we'll get ourselves underway for the formation lap, which gives us a bit of time there to look at the tyre compounds and the strategy that the drivers are going to be starting with, I should say, unfolding this first few laps with, at least in this historic circuit as well. Looks like the majority of the field has gone with the medium compound tyre, which is very interesting indeed. Can they stretch the mediums to the soft compounds later on in this race, or are they going to have to stick or twist and switch to the hard compound tyres there later on, or in the middle part of this Grand Prix? Of course, we do expect the mediums to last around to the midpoint of the Grand Prix. The hards, of course, can go a few laps longer, and of course the softs, which has only one driver on the soft compound tyres, and that is Gordo there in P11, is going to be going great guns indeed off the start. But of course, his tyres will drop off a lot earlier than those around him as well there. 4 drivers on the hard compound tyres. That is Kiki in P6. They're the highest of the hard runners. Emolo, his teammate there in P12, and then we've got Jinner in P13, both those drivers on the hard compound tyres, and V Todd there P16 on the hards as well. Everybody else apart from those 4 and Gordo there in P11, who is on the soft compound tyres, everybody else is on the medium compound tyres. So they're going for an even strategy there to start off with, just making sure they've got a nice window there to either switch up the strategy during the Grand Prix or get to the soft compound tyres towards the end. They're quite slow there from the Red Bulls there on this formation lap. They're not quite sure what's going on there for Mr. Elite, but hopefully he can get himself sorted and back underway. Then we are ready to get going here in Monza for round 14 of the season. Like I was saying, we're almost at the 2/3 waypoint of this season. It's not going to be too far off. I think it might be after Singapore next week. So there we go. So we're nearly there. But yeah, good stuff indeed so far this season from Silver, and Tango is going to line up on the grid there in pole position there for this race as well. Good stuff indeed. Softs are a bad idea, says Serious Mushroom. That is not good news for Gordo. That's not what he wants to hear. But nonetheless, he has to get himself sorted and underway now in this one as we get ourselves lined up on the grid there. Far there coming around the Parabolica corner to complete the order. And we can get ourselves ready to get racing here in Italy then, as just getting ourselves lined up on the grid there. Gordo unfortunately disqualifying himself from the parking spot, as again I'm trying to find a camera angle. I think the 5 red lights are on here in Monza. The 5 red lights are on, and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix there. Tango, they're covering off B-Rabbit. They're down towards turn 1, straight ahead of the Mercedes. They're in towards turn 1. Dylan's going ahead of his teammate into P3. Dylan, they're going on the move there on B-Rabbit. They're round the outside there. B-Rabbit has to go over the curbs as well. Dylan up into P2. Fantastic stuff indeed. We'll switch the position changes. There we go. As Dylan, they're gaining 2 places. So did Kiki as well. Dopey Lemons unfortunately lost out 2 places as well. Mr. Elite and Gordo battling away. Sweet MJP and Mumford as well in towards the next chicane. And can they make any moves? Kamara down 1 place, but he's lost out there to Kiki. I think Kiki's got himself a great start indeed in the Ferrari. Up into P4 there on the hard compound tyres as well. Dan's losing out there. Golden Wolf has gone off the circuit there at the second chicane. And Kaz has got himself out of the way there, I think. 5 up 9 places there. He's really gone for it in this start of this Grand Prix, up into almost the point-paying positions in the first few corners there. He's trying to get himself past Mr. Elite now as well. Gordo's struggling there. He's not had a great start there on the soft compound tyres, down in P12, unfortunately for him. But out in front, Tango is now under pressure from Dylan there. The 3 championship protagonists, the 3 of the top 3 in the standings are in the top 3 here in Monza as well. This is going to get interesting indeed there. It's not half a tenth of a second. It's a bit further back there, but you can see the back of that diffuser there on the Aston Martin there. It's all over the back of this of the Aston Martin of Tango. Tango, of course, sets the fastest lap of the race, but here comes Dylan now down the main straight. Can he get himself the move there for the lead of this Grand Prix on lap 2 now, as we go down towards the first chicane once again there. No moves being made, but down the back of the order, B-Rabbit's gone deep, I think. Oh no, was it Kiki? Kiki's down the order. Kiki's off into the gravel. That is bad news indeed for Kiki. I don't think there was any helping hands or any assistance there. He has just driven himself off the circuit there, and I'm not quite sure what he's doing now, trying to get himself back on. He's got himself back on now, finally. Mumford has got himself past Sweet MJP there for P6 there, into the top echelons now. Well, the middle echelons of the points, really. He's in the mid points at the moment, but of course he's looking to push on and get some higher points than that, getting some better rewards there for the McLaren outfit as well. But the timing screen seemed to have, I'm not sure what's going on with the timing screens right now. V-Todd and Dan are getting spicy, and it's close. Dan's off the circuit, and V-Todd takes back the place there on the AlphaTauri there. They're burning a lot of ERS here as well, and I'm not quite sure as E-Molo now is getting himself interested in this one as well. He's looking to stick his nose in down the inside. They have to go in single file through Ascari, and they have done. Very wise indeed. But I think Dan is going to be all over the back. And, of course, V-Todd on the hard compound tyres there will have to phase into this Grand Prix and maybe come back later on in this stint as well, as ahead goes Dan down the back straight towards the parabolic corner. So maybe there's DRS going to be available there for V-Todd. Out in front there, Dylan now is putting the pressure on once again, but he's just sitting behind for the time being, just biding his time. There is the championship protagonist, and looking to get himself through later on in this Grand Prix. Of course, he doesn't want to take the lead straight away, because it's quite an easy track to overtake on. So of course the drivers who are behind him can get themselves past quite quickly, as Farf, talking about getting past quite quickly, Farf up 11 places there in the first 2 laps there into the top 9, and has got himself from from P20 on the grid there all the way up into the points paying position so far. Looking good indeed for Farf. Of course we don't want to give him driver of the day anyway, so that is fine. Paul had a bit of a practice, says Equaz. Yeah, well, he had a bit of practice bowling me off the circuit as well. Golden Wolf is off the circuit. No, he might not be, but he's got himself back on, thankfully, as Kaz there trying to get himself past V-Todd. V-Todd's had a problem, I think, because now Imola and Dan have got themselves a 2-second gap ahead of the Alpine driver, which is not looking good indeed for V-Todd. But like I was saying, he's on the hard compound tyres. It will come back to him later on in this Grand Prix. But there we go then. Kaz now trying to get themselves through into the Ascari chicane, and of course Golden Wolf there right behind Kiki as well, dropping down the field. I'm not quite sure what happened to Kiki. He's got a 10-second time penalty for something as well, but of course I don't think that is legitimate. But there we go then. Here comes Dylan now. Yellow flags for Gordo. Gordo's had a problem there at Parabolica. He's going to try to get himself spun back around, and he's not doing a good job of getting out of the way there. Here comes Dylan though for the lead of the Grand Prix there into turn 1. He's got the move done down the inside there, but Tango's fighting back there. Tango's fought back. He's gained the place back as well. Has he on the traction as well? He's got the move. He's kept the position, I should say. But Dylan there is going to have something to say about it. Round Curva Grande they go side by side. The 2 championship challengers as well. in towards the next chicane. They're going to be neck and neck there as they get in the break onto the brakes there. It's going to be close. There's contact between the two of them, but Dylan there, I think Dylan just has to he has to yield there just about there to Tango, but now he's going to stick himself down the inside at the first Lesmo. Could there be more contact here as well? They've managed to get through unscathed on this occasion. They're into the second Lesmo, and now Dylan there will put the pressure on. Look at this gap, the gap between everybody as well. The top five once again. We saw in the Netherlands last week. Here comes Dylan there, and B Rabbit, is he going to stick his nose in as well? That is close indeed, and he thinks better of it, yeah, because of course he is the championship leader currently, is B Rabbit, and wants to try and preserve his championship lead and score as many points as possible there in this Grand Prix as well. But now here they come there down the back straight towards Parabolica once again, and this is, look at the gaps here, it's so close indeed. There's 0.2 of a second in it between all the drivers there in the top 10, and it's getting close indeed between all of them. And here comes Dylan, not Dylan, sorry, Dylan takes us away down the main straight, but I think he's going to be under pressure here from Tango, and I think maybe B Rabbit and Dopey Lemons might get involved in this one as well, as Rabbit there trying to pull out of the slipstream there to get himself a better position there to try and go for the overtake, but he has to stick behind for the time being. TK and Jinner switching places there. Oh, there's battling between the two Haas cars, and I'm not quite sure what is going on there between TK and Reflection there, but and Jinner there, his teammate, but he's now cost Jinner there 2 positions as well, to Reflection also, so that's not good news indeed. E-Moller has got himself up into P14. Dan is now all over the back of him there on the medium compound tires. Here comes Dan as he's going to make a late move, not quite, he has to stick behind for the time being. Kaz has got himself past Golden Wolf and V-Todd struggling there. I think he's lost 3 seconds there to the top 17. Gordo's dropped down the order there after the spin, and Kiki is back in the pit lane after switching to the medium compound tyres. That is your order down there, but we're going to go back to the battle out of the front, because look at this, the top 9 are separated by about half a second at most there between the cars, and now down the back straight for the 5th time. Here we go then once again. Dylan is now trying to put the pressure on Tango after being overtaken there on the last lap. Yellow flags for Jinner at the Ascari chicane, and he's gone off in a big way, but he's got himself back underway as well, thankfully, and there's no damage there to the Haas car. Irvine has been overtaken by Farf, I think, has he? Yes, he has, and up into P8 now goes Farf as we go down the main straight once again. Has Dylan got himself back into the lead? It's going to be close indeed between themselves into turn 1. No moves being made. Off the circuit goes Dopey Lemons. That is a massive loss of braking for the Alfa Romeo. He's lost out as well. He's got a penalty, and he's lost out a lot of positions as well, I think, has Dopey Lemons there, as he's got himself back on the circuit, and now Sweet MJP is all over the back of him as well in towards the next chicane, but he's having to hold on to P6 for the time being. Dopey Lemons there late on the brakes into the second chicane as well. He's just trying to get himself some composure here to get himself back underway in this Grand Prix. Potentially that 3-second penalty could be looked at as well, but yeah, we will have to wait and see. You have to see the race director after the Grand Prix as well. Off the circuit goes Kamara Racer. That is going to entice Mumford now to get himself through into P4, and Kamara has lost out there because of that unfortunate exit there on the exit of Lesmo 2, and now down to P5 there for the Aston Martin driver. We don't want to see him have a difficult race like he did in the second phase of the Netherlands Grand Prix. He was, of course, in the top 5 in Netherlands as well. But it went a bit awry. Now into the lead, into the front, and here comes B Rabbit round the outside of Parabolica on Dylan, and of course these two are still challenging Tango as well. Is anybody going to be able to make a move? It's going to be a double overtake there for B Rabbit and for Dylan as well, potentially down towards turn 1. Here we go then once again on lap 7 of 27. There's plenty of action still to unfold, and we're not too far into this race as Tango goes down the outside. Oh, and into the back goes Kamara Racer, into the back of everybody, and Kamara Racer's got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Dylan. Safety car has been brought out, and that was a smash, and we didn't even see what was happening in the background, but there's a massive smash there from Kamara Racer, who's gone right into the back there of Dylan. I think Dylan is now, where is Dylan gone? He's down to P9 after that as well. That has cost Dylan there. Of course, he was in the lead of the Grand Prix at this stage, and a massive smash there. We caught the back end of it because we didn't see the camera angle. Top 3 are running low on hers. So that is what Potstuff has said anyway. But blimey, that safety car is out after what I couldn't even tell what was going on there. Dear, come on, his old eyes failed, says Sirius Russian. I think they must have done, because yeah, It seemed like it. I think it seems like a defending on the on the brakes there into turn one, and you're getting unsighted there. Kiki can go past the safety car. Of course, he is not being lapped. He can get himself back round and into the safety car queue, but can the hards get to the end from here is the question. I think maybe they probably could actually if they wanted to give it a try. There might be some double stacking here between the teammates as well, especially with the top 12. They're all on the medium compound tyres. Yes, into the pit lane comes Mumford. B Rabbit there is following him in as well. Let's have a look and see. Irvine carries on actually, so he will take the lead of the Grand Prix here. Irvine, as Mr. Elite's got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Sweet MJP there. Not quite sure what is going on for him, but it hasn't been served either for Mr. Elite. He's going to have to either come back to the pit lane and serve that penalty, or he's going to have to wait and deal with it at the end of the Grand Prix. V Todd carries on as well. He's onto the hard compound. He stays on the hard compound tyres. Mumford has got himself out in the lead of the Grand Prix. Net lead of the Grand Prix, I should say, but I'm not quite sure how he's done that because Tango and B Rabbit were surely ahead of him. I'm not quite sure what's happened there with Mumford, but he's managed to get himself ahead there of the championship protagonists there and into the net P1, of course, with V Todd and Irvine yet to pit. But interesting stuff indeed there, and well, it's going to be good news for Mumford there and McLaren fans, but I'm not quite sure if Tango and B Rabbit, they might be scratching their heads wondering what's going on there. Dopey Lemons has got himself a 3-second penalty. That was the penalty there for cutting the first chicane, which could be looked at after the race. Mr. Elite there had a collision there with Sweet MJP there into the pit entry, I think it was, because he got himself a 5-second penalty just before he got himself onto the medium compound tyre. So again, that might have to be looked at as well. Kamara Racers down the order there, he's got himself a 5-second penalty as well for his troubles, and is down in P19 after that massive smash indeed. And I was just saying there, Kamara needs to have a good race to get some good points under his belt. He can still get some points under his belt. It's not all done and dusted just yet in this Grand Prix. But the problem is he's down in P19 and has to recover there. But like I said, we've still got some racing to unfold. Wonder if any top runners got rear wing damage at Serious Russian. Potentially that is the case. I don't even know if rear wing damage is even on. So potentially they couldn't. So I don't know. And nobody else is pitting there. Irvine and VTOL once again staying out as well. So that is that. The safety car has been brought out. Is Kamara going to come back to the pit lane to serve that 5-second penalty? I think he should. He should do if he knows what's going on. But no, he doesn't know what's going on. Kaz is back in the pits as well, though. And Kiki is going a bit slowly there through the final corner, I think. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Kiki. But there we go then. Kaz coming back to the pit lane. He's done one lap on the soft compound tyres, but I think he just wanted to not use the medium compound tyres there and keep an extra lap of race pace in those medium compound tyres. I'm not sure. Potentially safety car could be in this lap. I'm not sure the medium compound tyres will get to the end of the Grand Prix from here. It might be very close indeed. It could be possible though. So we'll have to wait and see. Gordo is saying he could go soft at the very end there. Potentially he could as well, because like I was saying, I'm not sure the medium compound tyres will hold on long enough to get to the checkered flag there. They can do 17 laps or so, but they will not be feeling too good towards the end of that stint. So there we go then. Right then, Irvine there will lead us away for the safety car restart. We're ready to get going here once again in silver. It has been an epic start. The first 9 laps, or first 8 laps, I should say, were pretty epic indeed. But yeah, unfortunately, that safety car was caused there by the incident that really cost quite a few places, a few people, a few places as well. Safety car is not just yet coming in, but it might be a very late call indeed. Yes, it is coming in this lap. That is a very late call indeed, and Irvine there has to slow down the pack there, and hopefully they will slow down and quick enough in time as well, because they don't want to go into the back of each other. But Irvine now will become the de facto safety car leader. Of course, the safety car is going to peel around Parabolica, and somebody just went off there on my screen, but hopefully it was just lag, and there we go then. Right, around the Parabolica we go there for Irvine there in the McLaren. He's off and away there, and they go racing once again here in Monza as the safety car there parks himself up in the pit lane, and hopefully that is the last we see of him in this Grand Prix. V Todd now following down that McLaren there in towards turn 1. There's a lot of pace there in that Alpine all of a sudden as we go down towards the heavy braking zone once again there at turn 1. Thankfully, no contact this time between the top runners there. Mumford there waiting in the wings there, trying to get himself past the Alpine as as Jenner picks up a penalty, unfortunately for Jenner there. That's not good news for the Haas driver, but Vitor trying to get himself past, but here comes Mumford as well on the fresh hard compound tyres, looking to get himself through as well. On the top two have yet to pit, of course. They decided not to pit there under the safety car, and here comes Mumford now down the inside there into the first Lesmo. He's got the move done there. Is now a McLaren 1-2 here in Monza as we go round lap 10 as well. But of course Irvine is yet to pit, the same for Vitor as well, but can he cling on there? He's got off the circuit there, and that could have compromised himself and Tango as well. Tango's got himself through, I think, as B Rabbit flies through as well, and now here comes the rest of the pack there. This is where Dopey Lemons and Vitor get very close indeed there, but thankfully nothing doing into Ascari. But Vitor, yeah, you can see on the older hard compound tyres just struggling to warm them up there as the other fresher tyres start to come through. And hopefully Favre realises not to crash into the back of his teammate. Todd there. Todd's gone very wide there, and now through Parabolica goes Sweet MJP and Favre has got the move there on Dopey Lemons as well as we go through there to finish off lap 10. They're on to lap 11 now as well. Here comes Sweet MJP there as the hard compound runners there who have pitted are now putting on the pressure as well, and now Favre has got himself stuck. Dopey Lemons has got himself stuck behind Favre, and there's contact between Dopey Lemons there and Favre. And I think Dopey Lemon stuck his nose in there. I think you could see from the angle there that as Todd has lost out to Mr. Elite as well, you could see from the angle there that unfortunately there wasn't much of an opportunity there for Dopey Lemons to go for that overtake. Here comes Dylan there, his teammate there on Reflection as we go into the second chicane. He's got the move done past Reflection as well, up into P9, bumping wheels there. We heard in the background there as well, I think Dan, Emola and Gordo, they're all involved as well, as they're all over the back. And now with Todd, who's dropped outside of the points there after restarting the race in P2. He's down into P11 already, unfortunately, but of course there's still pit stops to come, and potentially we could see more pit stops for everybody as well if their tyres don't make it to the last few laps there. Tango has taken the lead of the Grand Prix there on medium compound tyres now. He's going to have to go a long way on those medium compound tyres. Mumford getting himself past his teammate now as Irvine, I think, playing the team game there, letting Mumford go through into P2 to chase down Tango there in P1. Mumford could be on for a good result here. The ERS light flashing there for Tango as Mumford now goes for the move. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1? I think he is. He's got the move, he's got the pace, he's got the grip. He's got the overtake done as well, up into P1 there for the McLaren. Tango going to fight back down the inside. There's contact again, I think, between the two of them, but thankfully this time unscathed is Tango. Emola and Gordo battling away there down the field into P12, though there's contact again between the two of them through the chicane as now Todd is back interested in this battle as well, as always been almost pushed off the circuit. There's Todd, but thankfully no harm done. Jenner has got himself through as well as they're all over the back now of Gordo there into turn. Oh no, this is tight indeed. And Jenner there somehow forcing his way through the gap there. And yeah, that is exactly what you don't want to do, because that 3 wide is going to be treacherous indeed, as Kamara Racer, I think, is off the circuit. He has had a problem there at the second chicane there. He's got himself back underway, thankfully. Doesn't look like there's any wing damage as well for the Aston Martin, but he's got himself back underway, thankfully. Good stuff indeed. Mumford now is chasing down Tango there. The McLaren of Irvine is doing a great job of sticking with his battle as well. Todd has had a problem. Todd has dropped down behind the likes of Golden Wolf and Kiki, and now struggling on those hard compound tyres. You big smash there for Golden Wolf there. We just saw coming through a Ascari chicane, and that is another safety car. There's a Ferrari off the circuit of Kiki, and blimey, that's the second safety car there. Anybody going to pit now is the question. But potentially the likes of Irvine. Irvine is in the pit lane there. So is Tango as well. He's done 4-5 laps on the medium compound tyres. A big smash there for Golden Wolf, as we saw going through the Ascari chicane there. And that has cost him. That is the first retirement there of the Grand Prix, and that is bad news indeed as well. Tango is back onto the hard compound tyres there. He's down into P12 now. Irvine there, his first pit stop there, into P13. So is Favre, Mr. Elite, and Todd as well. Kamara Racer all in the pit lane as well. There is a lot of pit activity there as Mumford there takes the lead. And they have gone past the safety car as well. So there is a delta now for the drivers as we get themselves sorted. Kiki and Kamara Racer getting themselves out the pit lane as well. But blimey, that was a big smash indeed there, as Gordo said. Yeah, Hans Gordo could have stayed out, said as Golden Wolf there leaves the session there after that big smash indeed. But like I was saying, the second safety car of the night, big smash there through Ascari there, and that has cost Golden Wolf his place in the race as it stands. They're the only retirement there. Of course, it's our second safety car, but we've only had one retirement, thankfully. Well, unfortunately, as Kamara has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car as well now, and that is what you need to slow down and not impede your delta. I'm not quite sure what he's doing now. He's just slowed down, and now that's going to cost himself and Kiki time, because Kiki's going to have to let him back through. Kamara just needs to get his head back down in this race and get on with it as well. But he has got the pace. We've seen that, of course, in the first opening laps as well. He's got the pace to stay with the top runners there. He has potentially got the pace there to serve his drive through and get himself back after the rest of the grid, to be honest. As Ginner and E. Moller have pitted. They've both got 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane as well. That is bad news indeed for them. That is going to be added on to their race time if they don't serve it, of course, if they do not have to pit again, that is. But, that is not good stuff indeed. 5 seconds there will be added on to their race times at the end of the Grand Prix. Should they... there's a lot of cars coming through as well. That is demoting them even further down the order as well. That is bad news indeed for those drivers. But thankfully, they are back out onto the grid. And it'll be a bit of a longer safety car than the first one as well. Plan was always going to be to do a 2 stops there for Tango. So he is down into P10 there currently. But of course, with the safety car, that's going to bring him back into the train. And potentially, like I was saying, if the other drivers have to make more pit stops, Tango could be in a prime position to take back this lead of the Grand Prix. It is not all done and dusted just yet in this Grand Prix. There is still almost halfway to go. Right then. Let's get ourselves underway for another Grand Prix start. I think we're going to have, this is going to be our third start technically, with the second safety car restart coming up in just a few seconds time. I'm not sure it'll be in at the end of this lap though, so I might have to wait till the end of lap 15. In the meantime, we can talk amongst ourselves. So tell me what you had for dinner, and tell me what you're going to have for dinner tomorrow as well. Somebody had Welsh rarebit. That's interesting stuff. I had an Audi pasta thing, says Gordo as well. Good stuff indeed. Well, that sounds delightful, I must say. So that was that. Let's have a quick check at the penalty situation there. 8 seconds for Gino. I'm not quite sure why he didn't pit for serve that 5-second penalty at least. Getting himself down to the 3 second that is. Kiki of course has got 10 seconds. I think that was just for going off the circuit there after we had his incident there, but he was just trying to get out of the way there of the cars rejoining, so that would be removed if that is reported at the end of the Grand Prix. Kaz has got a 5-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane, I would imagine. But E. Moller has just come in to serve his penalty and get himself back out on track now as well. So I think that's good stuff indeed from E. Moller there to get that 5-second penalty removed, because he doesn't want it getting added on to the end of his race time there once it all gets racy, once it all gets punchy once again here in Monza. And I think it could be the end of the safety car on this lap then. Or cheese on toast if you're English, says Serious Mushroom there. Good stuff indeed. I had some pasta, if anybody cares. But there we go. So that's that. Right then, is the safety car coming in? It is coming in this lap then. So we'll have to get it started once again here by Mumford. Another McLaren there takes the restart this time. But it is Mumford there to lead us away there for the second restart here in Monza. Right then, 12 laps to go at the end of this one as well. Or 13 laps actually, technically, if you can count right. And when will he drop the hammer there? The safety car is back in the pit lane there. Mumford has gone, and has he caught out the rest of the pack there? He might have done just a bit by Mumford, by Break B Rabbit, sorry, and Swim P there. But into lap 16, I should say. Get me numbers right. We have lap 13 to go. 13 laps to go, I should say, but we got 16 laps done and dusted. Kamara Racer has dropped down the field there and got a 5-second move for speeding in the pit lane there. Kaz has gotten overtaken by E-Moller as well. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Kiki there as well, and Farf has got himself past Irvine there, has he? Oh no, it's close indeed. Yellow flags. It's a VSC, I think. Is that a VSC or what's? I'm not sure what's happened there with Kamara Racer there, and the same with Kiki as well. Kiki has not quite a front wing there. A virtual safety car has been deployed, and I think it was between Kiki and Kamara there on the restart there. I'm not quite sure what was going on between those two, but yeah, I think Kamara was quitting the pit lane there, it looks like. But before he got into the pit lane, we saw a big smash there and a lot of polystyrene flying up in the air. I think that was the just the pit boards there that were flying up. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to Kiki as well, unless Kiki was just a bystander in that one as well. But unfortunately, thankfully for the VSC being out there, Kiki can get himself hopefully round and put on a new front wing. He needs to make sure he gets through the corners first. But yeah, there we go there. Unfortunately there for Kiki, it's not going too well here in Monza for him either. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold. When the VSC does come in, then we can get ourselves back underway racing. I think it's coming in very soon. Let's see if anybody gets a drive through. That is probably not what you want to get around here, because it is a very fast-paced circuit as well. But it looks like everybody is just keep taking it easy. We have got green flag running once again there, and back we go as nobody's got a drive through this time, thankfully. B-Rabbit looking to go for a move there for the lead of the Grand Prix, but not quite there. Irvine and Farf battling away down in P10 there. These two going side by side into turn one. It's close indeed, but thankfully they've squeezed through. Just about, that is. And Irvine there, of course, onto the fresher hard compact tyres there. Of course, we'll see potentially the mediums get to the end of the Grand Prix, but they've got 9 laps there for Dan, 4 laps for Farf, 3 for Ginner there as well. It could be close indeed. We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds in the last few laps or so. But it's close indeed once again at the top, and the top 5 once again pushing away there from the rest of the pack there. Reflecting trying to cling on to the back here of Dylan, but he's just outside that 1 second window as it stands. But now down towards the Ascara chicane once again there for the 17th time. But of course, unfortunately, a few laps have been behind the safety car there. B-Rabbit there all over the back there of Mumford, the race leader, of course, now through Ascari once again. And it is getting pretty close indeed. Father's got no pens there, clip it. So the serious mushroom there. Well, don't count the chickens before they've hatched and all of that rubbish. But there we go then. B-Rabbit now round Parabolica. Here comes Tango on Dan as well. Dan, of course, I think will start to struggle quite quickly because those medium compound tyres I don't think are going to last to the end of the Grand Prix. Dylan's got himself past PK. Mumford has lost out of the lead to B-Rabbit there. B-Rabbit now into P1 there. Championship leader takes the lead of the Grand Prix here in Monza as well. And it's close on the brakes there between the two of them there, but Mumford just gets out of the way there, thankfully, not causing any contact, not going to the back of the Mercedes there this time. Dopey Lemons and Dan switching places as well. I think this is where the medium compound tyres on Dan's car start to fade away, unfortunately, for the AlphaTauri driver there. He's just going to be losing out more and more as we go through. TK and Reflection battling away now in towards the next chicane, and TK has got himself back through into P6. Yellow flags, and Ginner is out of the Grand Prix. There's a big smash there as well, and there's a McLaren off. It's Irvine, and I'm not quite sure what's happened there because another smash. It's another safety car, although it says virtual safety car. It's another safety car, and I'm not quite sure if it's just stuck getting out of the pit lane or something. But no, it is now out of the pit lane, but it hasn't come up. It has got a safety car now. Brilliant stuff. Right then. This is going to be interesting stuff indeed. If anyone's got any fresh set of softs and they want to make a charge for it, then I think the softs will be able to get to the end from here. But they will. They might be a bit frazzled towards the end of the Grand Prix. I'm a bit frazzled now already, to be honest, because it's been an epic up and down Grand Prix, but all sorts of chaos all over the field as well. And nobody is keeping it cool and calm like Gold did, of course, last night. But there we go then. B-Rabbit there is not coming into the pit lane, I don't think. I think Mumford there just trying to fake there to try and trick anybody else to go in the pit lane. Into the pits goes not far, not Mr. Elite. It's TK, Reflection, Dopey Lemons, Dan, V Todd and E-Moller. Kaz and Irvine are in the pit lane as well. Kiki, sorry, has just come out of the pit lane ahead of the ahead of the safety car, thankfully, otherwise he would have been a lap down. But he's got to get himself round and catch up to the queue, as the top 8 have stayed out there. That is going to be interesting stuff indeed there. We'll have to wait and see how the soft runners do fare, getting themselves through the field there. We've already seen a few safety cars with people battling side by side. I think we might see another safety car after this race is finished as well. Before this race is finished even, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? But there we go then. Gordo has said he's only got badly used softs. I think that might be, it's too late now for Gordo there, but unfortunately he's going to have to stick with the medium compact tyres. He's done 6 laps on the medium so far, or 7 laps including this one, so it's not all doom and gloom just yet. But those on the soft compound tyres are going to be pretty quick indeed there, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see how far they can get through the order, if they can get themselves through the order, that is, as well. But we'll have to play it by eyes, really, but we'll play it by ear first. As like I said, the safety car is going to be a bit of a while to get himself back in, because Kiki there in the back of the field there is just going through the first chicane. So it's going to be another lap or two, I think, behind the safety car before we get ourselves restarted, which is why it could be quite good for the soft compound tyres, similar to what we saw in the sprint event in Qatar. With the soft compound tyres there, of course, you're not using too much life of the tyre there as you go round under safety car compared to you going round under on a race lap, that is. So that is why the tyre life does extend there on any compounded tyre if you are stuck behind a safety car for a little bit. So we might see the soft be able to get to the end quite comfortably here as well. But it will be good news there for the likes of Gordo and Farf, who are, like I said, pushing on the on the medium compound tyres there. Their tyre life won't be too phased at this stage of the Grand Prix either as well. But there we go then. We are rounding the first chicane for lap 20, of course. I don't think it will be restarting just yet, because it all depends on the AlphaTauri there of Kaz and, of course, Kiki, who's in the Ferrari in P17, just coming around Parabolica now. Yeah, we'll hopefully get ourselves underway very shortly. If we start on lap 22, then we've got 6 laps of racing, I think. So we'll have to wait and see. It could be a 6-lap shootout there to the checkered flag. We'll have to find out in a jiffy, but like I said, at the moment, I don't think, unless Kiki can catch up there, as he has stayed out there this time, so hopefully he can get himself through the Curva Grande there to get himself into the train, I should say. He's currently 16 seconds back at the moment. Right then. Here we go. Right, I think we're almost ready to get going for the third time, or the fourth time really, the third restart, the third safety car here in Monza as well tonight. But yeah, Kiki just trying to get himself back into the pack as well, and we can get ourselves underway. But B Rabbit there, of course, will be leading the way. Of course, the championship leader there currently in P1. He doesn't have, well, he has his challenges there of Dylan and Tango there, P4 and P5, so he will be able to see how far back they are at the moment. But they're split between Sweet MJP there and Munford, who are doing a good job there of getting some good big points there for the Williams and the McLaren team respectively as well. Safety car in this lap. It's a very late call there from the safety car. Blimey, that is very dangerous indeed from Bernd Mailander. It's going to be a very late restart as well, I think, from B Rabbit there. He's going to have to go now. He has no option but to go now. He has gone now. Mumford has actually been caught out somehow by B Rabbit there as well. SWMJP they're going down towards turn 1 as we got a very quick restart there. The safety car did not want to hang about, did it? As Tango is trying to get himself past Dylan there in towards turn 1. Tango trying to go past SWMJP as well. He has got the move, I think, as Dylan is going to follow through and get past the Williams 2 into P4 there for Dylan there, the championship protagonist there. They want to try and get through as quickly as possible because, of course, they don't want to lose out places to each other. Farf now trying to get past SWMJP there into the second chicane as well. They're going to be close indeed on the brakes as well between the two of them there. Always contact, I think, between the two as well, as Imola picks up a 3-second penalty there down the back of the field. And this is treacherous indeed. Mr. Elite has got himself past SWMJP as well. I think the old hard compound tyres there on the Williams car is didn't have a great time there on the restart there. We saw him lose out to the back of the order as well. And Dylan and Tango took their chance as well. Reflection up into P10 now, getting past Dopey Lemons there on the medium compound tyres. V-Todd flying through as well into P11, but it's close indeed between himself and Reflection, almost clipping the back of the Mercedes. Off the circuit goes V-Todd. No, it's SWMJP, they're flying off the circuit. in the background there, and that could be another safety car, I think, unless the safety cars have given up here. But I think they have, actually, to be fair. So Gordo and TK switching places as well into Parabolica, and thankfully I think the safety cars have given up tonight, which is, well, good news for me because I want to go to bed at some point, but not good news there for Swim DP there, who's out of the lobby, out of the session, I should say. Tango getting himself past Mumford now as well. Up into P2 goes Tango and Dylan there going down the inside as well between these two. It's close. There's contact. There's rubbing wheels as well as we go through in towards Curva Grande. Farf right in the background of this one as well. Mumford's lost out, I think, to Dylan there. Oh, it's close indeed between them as they go through Curva Grande as well. It's tight indeed between the two of them. There's ERS to play with. Just about. There's not much ERS to play with as we go into the second chicane there. Mumford loses out to Dylan there. Into P4 goes the McLaren, and Dylan there takes P3 away. Dopey Lemons is off the circuit. He's dropped down the order there at the first chicane. Dan has been passed by Irvine as well. The soft runners now are starting to battle away. Kiki has got himself past Kaz, and now this is the battle at the top there. Out in front, though, the 1.5 second gap between Tango and Bray Rabbit could be uncomfortable indeed. But here comes Farf now up into P4, getting himself ahead of Mumford. Of course, the medium compound tyres might start to wear out very soon. We saw Dan on 10 lap old medium compound tyres. They're really struggling in the last phase. So maybe the those on the hards, those on the softs could come through and attack Farf there later on in this Grand Prix. Reflection getting himself past Mr. Elite there for P8 there currently. Mr. Elite is on the hard compound tyres, trying to go down the inside of Parabolica. It's close indeed, but the soft compound tyres have got the grip there. Mumford has been passed by TK now on the soft compound tyres for the Haas driver, trying to get himself past Farf as well. And they're both ganging up there on Dylan as well. Dylan's lost out there too. Oh, there's contact between all of them there as well, and into the chicane. And Dylan has got a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner there as well. He was forced off by TK. You could see on contact there, Dopey Lemons retired in the pit lane. You could see on contact there that TK went into the back of Dylan there and really just gave him the nudge there to get himself over the bollards there, over the sleeping policeman or whatever you want to call them. But there we go. Out in front now, it's calmed down, but these battles here for the final podium place. Dylan, of course, has that 5-second penalty that will be looked at, of course, after the Grand Prix. But Farf now, was Dylan getting a bit squirrely there on the exit. Now here comes Farf, and here comes TK as well. They're down towards the Ascari chicane there. Farf is going to have to let them go. And Dylan, I think, is he going to fight Dylan as well? No, he has to slip behind. He has to take the position, keep the position, I should say, and not stick his nose in where it doesn't shine. But he's going to be putting the pressure on now, as Dylan there is really struggling there at this stage of the Grand Prix as well. His ERS light is flashing away, and that is showing that he's not got much electrical energy to play with there. Irvine's got himself up into P9 there, getting himself ahead of Mr. Elite for the time being, that is, as we go round the Parabolica once again there. Here comes Farf again as we go down towards turn 1 as Kiki has retired on the circuit. That could be a safety car. Dopey Lemons has left the session now. I think he pit and quit. So that is him done and dusted in this Grand Prix, and unfortunately will receive the licence point for that pit and quit as well. Mr. Elite and Dan battling away now as well through the first chicane. Dan's got himself past, I think, has he? It's close indeed between these two as well as we go around the Curva Grande. Of course, the soft compound tyres have the pace on this stage of the race as well. Emola there on his debut there is under pressure now from Dan. He has to go over the curbs because Dan didn't leave any space there at all. Not quite sure what Mr. Elite was doing there. Mr. Elite seemed to just hit the back of the AlphaTauri. And off the circuit goes Emola as well. Emola's gone into the wall there somehow. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But he's just driven off into the wall there, and I'm not quite sure what is going on with these drivers, to be honest. They're all just falling like flies. Emola has left the session there. That's him done and dusted, I think. Driver of the day is out, of course. You can get your driver of the day votes in the comment section. Reflection, Farf and B Rabbit there are your driver of the day candidates in the comment section as well. So vote away, everybody. But blimey, it's been a bit of a chaotic Grand Prix, hasn't it? But at the moment, it is. It's been one hell of a Grand Prix indeed to watch as well. Unfortunately, like I said, there's a few retirements there that have just given up as well. A few drivers there that have unfortunately had big smashes here as well in this Grand Prix. Farf has taken P4, I think, away from Dylan just about there as we go around into the first chicane once again. 25 of 27. We're on to the almost the penultimate lap as well now. Thankfully, Irvine trying to get himself past Gordo, I should say, there into P7. And here comes The Alpha Tauris there trying to gang up on Mr. Elite as well. Mr. Elite, I think, trying to get himself past Kaz. He has got himself past Kaz, has he? Oh no, as Kaz has gone into the back of his teammate and taken out Dandan. Dandan's gone off the circuit there as well, and trying to get himself back underway. But yeah, I think Kaz there flying into the back of his teammate there, and that has taken out Dandan, and Mr. Elite is under pressure, well, is putting the pressure on now Kaz as well. Todd is not far away from the points at this stage now, as there's only going to be about 10 finishes at this stage as well, it looks like, as now into the Ascari chicane we go, as Reflection's got a great charge out on that corner there as well. Here comes Reflection now down the back straight towards the final turn, I should say, as into the Parabolica we go there. No moves being made just yet, but it is getting dicey indeed, as we've seen, and yeah, I'm not quite sure what is going on there between the Alpha Tauris. They're going to have to try and sort that out between them, but there we go then. TK now trying to put the pressure on B Rabbit there into the not into the Ascari chicane, into the first chicane, but unfortunately he's not been able to make a move. I think on those soft compound tyres, we'll have a look at the tyre life quickly. They might start to fade out very soon in the next lap or so, as Dandan has quit in the pit as well, so he's left the session. There's only 12 left in this race, and that is it's not been a great race for Silver, unfortunately, tonight, as a lot of people have been caught by the wayside, put it that way, but nonetheless it's been action packed, to put it that way as well, so you can definitely have some entertainment watching this one back. But there we go then. Tango trying to keep up with the top two. TK trying to get himself into the lead of the Grand Prix. They're down towards the Ascari chicane. He's thinking twice about it now as we back off there towards Ascari. The top three have got quite a sizable gap there between the rest of them. 3 seconds back to Farf there in P4, and he has got Dylan, he has got Irvine, he's got Mumford all over the back of him as well. Gordo coming through as well. Reflection just holding on to P9 as it stands. But Kaz has actually been passed by Mr. Elite there. Mr. Elite into the points as it stands as well. Irvine getting himself through and past Mr. Dylan. Getting himself past Dylan into P5 on those soft compound tyres, and now trying to go for a move on Farf as well. TK has got himself past B Rabbit. They were on to the final lap of this Italian Grand Prix. Mr. Elite and V Todd are switching places. Kaz has got himself back through as well. And it doesn't look like Kaz knows which way to go here as we go through the first chicane once again there, as Kaz is really having struggles there on this final lap there as well. Mumford and Reflection are through as well. Reflection is up into P8. They're ahead of Mumford now. Mumford trying to fight back here into P8 as well. He's got the move done. B Rabbit and Tango switching places as B Rabbit on the outside of the first Lesmo there. TK has checked out in the distance there. Yellow flags for Reflection into the second chicane, and this is turning bad to worse, this Grand Prix, to be honest, as V Todd and Reflection have come together, it looks like. Now down towards Ascari we go for B Rabbit there in towards the final chicane, and he's got the move there for P2. He's got the place back as Tango picks up a 3-second penalty. That is bad news indeed. That could put Irvine on the podium here as well. This could be close indeed. Irvine could see that penalty ahead of him as well. He can push on now and go for it. He's going to have that podium place, I think, ahead of Tango if he can just hold on there. Tango's pushing B Rabbit round the final corner to finish off the Italian Grand Prix. TK crosses the line to take the Grand Prix victory here in Monza. B Rabbit there by a 1/10 of a second, well, on track a 1/10 of a second there ahead of Tango there. Irvine into P3, fantastic from him. Farf there, P4, well done to him as well. Tango, of course, dropping down the order there without penalty. Gordo into P6 there, great stuff from him. Mumford in P7, Mr. Elite in P8 there, Dylan in P9 there. Of course, that penalty might be looked at as well. Reflection in P10, V Todd coming across the line to take P10 away from Reflection, I should say. And God damn it, that was a Grand Prix that you can watch back later on when it's on the channel, but I'm going to have to go to bed before I rewatch that, because I need some sleep after that one. It was an epic Grand Prix. There was a lot of action indeed, as you can tell, but it was still an epic finish, even though there was only 12 people left on the track. Yeah, well done to all the drivers there that finished the Grand Prix at least, and well done indeed to those who have made it to the checkered flag there with 27 laps under their belts as well. Yeah, not too quiet in this one, was it, for Silver? It was definitely incident packed, but at least the the top 10 got themselves pretty much through unscathed in this one. So yeah, well done to those who got to the finish line. Good stuff indeed. Farf there gets driver of the day. That's bad news. But there we go then. So that is your classification then for the Italian Grand Prix. Very good stuff indeed from all the drivers here who have got to the finish line, like I was saying there. And what a race it was indeed, to be fair. 12 drivers, sorry, not 12 drivers, 8 drivers there DNF'd. As we'll just get the screenshot there of the classification there, so we can have a look at that later on. But below me there, that is your classification there for the Italian Grand Prix. I will, well, you can see for yourself, it just shows it was pretty epic indeed. But yeah, very good stuff indeed to those who got to the finish line as well. And we will of course hopefully get an interview or two with the podium sitters. But there we go then. Right. Oh, I'm out of breath on that one, I think. But oh, someone needs to turn their stream off. But yeah, right, good stuff indeed. We've got the classification done. We've got the podium sitters, I think, joining us as well there. But B Rabbit there, you're the first to join us, so we'll start off with you there. How was that for yourself there? What was that race like from your point of view?
Yeah, to be honest, I think we still have too much safety cars, so it's quite heavy to have a clean race. Like, I don't know how long was our longest stint, maybe 10 laps, but yeah, it's hard to keep a rhythm or hard to race when you have lots of yeah, yellow flags and safety cars. But all in all, it was a good result for me. Congrats TK, he had a massive pace on the soft. I believe it was new soft, so nothing I can do more. Like my tires were quite old, so I'm happy with the podium. I really wish that I could scream "Si ragazzi," but yeah, not today. Maybe in the next time.
Oh, it's still a P2 in the championship there, well, P2 in the race, I should say. But of course, you're technically extending your championship lead there to your rivals of Dylan and Tango there, who finished behind you. But yeah, so it's still a positive, I suppose, in that sense. But what would you think? What were you thinking when you saw all these safety cars keep popping out? Did you have to keep changing your strategy, or did you just think at one point, oh, this is it, I'm just going to stick with what I've got and go to the end of the Grand Prix from here?
I think all in all I did everything right today, but it's always a little gamble, a little bit luck, because you never know what the opponents are doing. So if everyone is pitting except you are the loser. And yeah, reverse the same, when you're the only one who is pitting, you have lots of traffic in front. So it's always depends on the situation. Like today I think I picked the right decision, but I wish we don't have to go into this decision. Like we just have a one-stop strategy. This would be fine, but yeah, you always have to think about a safety car. So as today, but yeah, it's all okay.
Well, it's Monza. It usually has quite a few safety cars anyway, but thankfully you got through unscathed, which is promising. So well done to yourself. Good race indeed as
Thank
well
you,
on
thank
the
you.
second step of the podium. I'm not sure if anybody else joined us, so we're going to have to, I think, call it there. But
I
no, we
think
have
TK
got
is here.
TK, I think, joined us. Yeah, TK there, the race win there in silver, of course, no less. How was that for yourself? Were you very happy with when you crossed the checkered flag? Crossed the finish line, I should say, really. Well, you did a fantastic job there on the soft compound tires. Did you think you might have the pace to get a win on the softs when everybody else stayed out? Well, it worked out in the end there, and you got a win, another win. To be fair, you've got 2 wins in bronze, and you've got a win in silver. To be fair, as well this season. So well done to yourself. You're going to go for gold next week. Well, we'll see. Well, you've got to go for a win in Singapore next week, then it sounds like, in gold as well. But no, fantastic stuff from yourself. Well done. Of course, we'll hopefully see some more from you tomorrow night in bronze, which of course is coming up in in less than 24 hours time now. So stay tuned for that. But well done to the podium sitters. I don't think, unfortunately, Irvine joined us in the end, but he did a fantastic job as well to get P3 in the end as well. But good stuff from all the drivers there. Well done to those who finished. It was a bit of a chaotic Grand Prix, but one of a race of attrition literally around Monza, which it usually is. But well done to the likes of TK with the win, of course, B Rabbit there in P2, and Irvine there in P3. But we'll see you tomorrow night for bronze. And of course, F2 is back as well on Wednesday night here in Zandvoort as well. So good stuff indeed. See you soon.